Welcome to Film Movie Recaps. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and let's begin.
Warning, spoiler alert.
In the not-too-distant future, the world is introduced to a new kind of robot, the NDR-114. One such robot is purchased by the Martin family to serve as their household robot, and named Andrew. But as time goes on, Andrew begins to exhibit human-like emotions, creativity, and consciousness. As Andrew embarks on a journey to become fully human, he must navigate a society that doesn't understand or accept him. Will Andrew's quest for humanity ultimately lead to acceptance or rejection? Today we'll be looking at a video recap of the 1999 science fiction comedy film called Bicentennial Man. Get comfortable. The film begins with the arrival of a gigantic package in a luxurious car at Mr. Martin's home. He sees the car from afar through his window and excitedly calls out to his family of 3, his wife and 2 beautiful daughters, to welcome the package, which is to be a surprise to the family. Everyone gathers in front of the package, with the littlest daughter, Amanda, standing close to the box. Her mom pulls her gently away from the box, curious and wondering what is in it. The curiosity soon sways into different emotions as the box is opened. Mr. Martin looks visibly satisfied to finally have his robot delivered to him. He reaches out to the power remote and turns on the robot. Amanda recoils in fear as the robot suddenly moves and takes a step back, finding refuge with her mother, who stands behind her. Her mom looks somewhat surprised and holds her little daughter by the shoulder as she wonders what the robot is up to. Grace, on the other hand, looks bored and unimpressed. She stands with her arms folded as they both wait to see what the robot will do next. The robot introduces itself, stating its serial number and model, and greets its owner, Mr. Martin. Amanda is still scared. She curiously asks what the machine is. The eldest daughter, Grace, considers the robot stupid. She tells her nonchalantly that it is an android. Amanda mishears her sister and further asks what an andrew is. Mr. Martin laughs at Amanda's curiosity. He finds the name Andrew extremely fitting and proceeds to name the robot Andrew. Andrew is a household robot. He starts to take on domestic tasks such as cooking. Amanda is fascinated by Andrew, while Grace, on the other hand, is subsequently mean to the robot. One day, Grace tells Andrew to jump out of a window, causing the Martins to come running and find the robot damaged. Mr. Martin scolds his daughter and reminds them to treat Andrew as a member of the family. The following day, while on an outing with the girls, Andrew accidentally breaks Amanda's favorite glass toy, causing Amanda and Grace to feel upset. Andrew finds a way to make it up to his little miss, Amanda. He studies several books on how to carve a plank of wood and then carves out a beautiful replica of Amanda's broken toy. Amanda sees it and appreciates it, as it is the most beautiful gift she has ever received. Mr. Martin and his wife see the new toy and are amazed at Andrew's ability as a robot. Andrew continues to carve more lovely works of art, says he enjoys making them, and further surprising his master. Mr. Martin finds it unusual that a robot acknowledges it enjoys doing something. He is also amazed and intrigued by Andrew's creative and social characteristics, and decides to take Andrew to the robotics factory to confirm more about Andrew's abilities. The CEO of the company proposes the option of a refund or replacement, confirming that Andrew's ability is a result of an anomaly in his brain pathways, which needs to be fixed. He says Andrew's ability may run wildly and it needs to be disassembled, with its brain replaced with a new one. Mr. Martin sees Andrew as unique. He refuses the offer and decides to maximize the robot's potential. He decides to teach Andrew to produce timepieces and clocks, similarly to what he does in his line of work. Andrew begins to learn more about humans, humor, and life. Bonding closer to the family, he is becoming an integral part of the household. He spends more time with the family, especially with Amanda, who is now a grown, beautiful young woman. Amanda is getting married to a friend she isn't sure she loves. During her conversation with Andrew, she requests to have him usher her wedding. Later, after the wedding, Mr. Martin becomes emotional, as he realizes his little girl is all grown up and has moved on, and will continue to live with someone else for the rest of her life. Andrew comforts him, saying he will always be there for him. Years later, Mr. Martin decides to monetize Andrew's clock productions, going against his wife's opinions as she considers Andrew a robot who does not need any money. Amanda, on the other hand, convinces her dad otherwise. She considers Andrew an individual, as does Mr. Martin. Without hesitation, he takes Amanda's advice and decides to open a bank account for Andrew, consulting with his lawyer to ensure he is making a lawful decision. After reading and learning so much about humans and the importance they place on freedom, Andrew chooses to seek his own freedom and begins living independently. Decades pass as Mr. Martin grows older and is about to die. He requests Andrew's presence at his bedside as they bond together for the very last time. Mr. Martin passes away while holding Andrew's hands. Andrew decides to find his destiny by searching for other NDR series robots like him, since they seem to be in extinction. In Andrew's quest of getting more information about the NDR series robots, it involves Amanda, who in turn involves her son, Lloyd, who is now a lawyer. Lloyd, who doesn't like Andrew, was reluctant to be of help. He wonders what a robot wants to use such information for. On realizing Andrew's intent, and that he will be on a quest for several years, he decides to help. After getting the necessary details, Andrew embarks on a 20-year journey to find other robots like himself, known as the NDR series. Along the way, he discovers many robots, but with their programming erased. After an exhaustive search, Andrew's only remaining hope leads him back to his home in San Francisco. There he stumbles upon a robot with human-like characteristics, dancing in market. He tracks it down to its owner, Rupert Burns, and discovers that the robot, named Galatea, has been uniquely programmed to have a distinct personality, which Andrew finds to be irritating and unsatisfying. Andrew meets Rupert, the scientist who rebuilt and modified Galatea into a standard NDR robot. Rupert learned his skill from his father, who creates android units in Northam Robotics Company, but got laid off after his units were shut down. Rupert explains that he had furthered his father's robotics work, and he is at a stage where he can replicate the external physical appearance of a human being, but needs funding for his research. Andrew is intrigued by Rupert's research and decides to fund it. With the help of Galatea and Rupert, Andrew gains the appearance of a human and returns back home. He heads to his little Miss Amanda's house, finds her playing the piano and wonders how she manages to look even younger than he left her. Portia sees Andrew and screams out in fear, as all of Andrew's explanations of who he is are to no avail. Amanda, looking visibly much older now, rushes out at the scream of her grandchild, wondering what has happened. Andrew introduces himself to the old woman and soon realizes he mistook Portia, Amanda's grandchild, for his little miss. Andrew gets angry about all the changes that have occurred and at Portia, for the thorough resemblance she shares with Amanda, as it is against all he has learned about humans. He gets consoled by Amanda and learns more about the genetic resemblance. More days pass. Andrew is requested by Portia at the hospital. Portia tells him about her grandmother's, Amanda's, medical condition. Upon visiting the hospital, Amanda visibly expresses her satisfaction as she greets Andrew for the last time. Andrew holds Amanda's hands as she passes on, leaving him sad and Portia in tears. Andrew is filled with sorrow, but is unable to cry, as he comes to the realization that every person he cares for will eventually leave him due to his immortality. Determined to find a solution, he delves into studying medical textbooks and seeks out Rupert for guidance. He comes up with design plans for a robotic upgrade that allows him to have biomechanical organs and a central nervous system. Andrew soon starts to bond well with Portia, as he goes with her for parties, walks, and games. Portia is having some special feelings towards Andrew, but does not go further with the conversation as she feels awkward having such a conversation with a robot. She tells Andrew he will always be a robot, no matter how much he changes, and she cannot invest her emotions in him. Andrew is saddened to hear this, but he dismisses it as he tells Portia things will change. Andrew goes back to Rupert to have his biomechanical organ designs put into him, replacing all his organs and his entire central nervous system, and is finally able to feel physically and emotionally. He excitedly runs to Portia to share the news. Portia kisses him on his lips at his request for confirmation of the scientific experiment. Realizing Andrew has emotions, she is confused and tells him about her upcoming marriage. Frustrated with Andrew's lack of action, Portia urges him to take a chance with her. Andrew initially thinks it's wrong, but Portia explains that humans make mistakes and takes risks. She encourages him to do the same and consider a future with her. As Andrew approaches Portia's engagement venue, he becomes angry that he has not been invited. Rupert, who has followed him, confirms Andrew's feelings of jealousy and love. Andrew returns to his home as Rupert follows him. Rupert empathizes with Andrew as he sips a beer. He realizes Andrew cannot taste. Then he tells Andrew of his research progress. Rupert says he has come up with a modification that would allow Andrew to taste and also have sexual sensations. Andrew ecstatically agrees and is remodified by Rupert, and immediately goes to see Portia. He meets her as she prepares the venue for her wedding reception in a few days. Andrew is relieved he came before the wedding and further professes his love to Portia. Portia is convinced, and she decides to acknowledge and accept Andrew's love. The couple spend their days living together and sharing the happiest moments with each other. However, Portia confronts reality and is visibly sad, saying that society would still not accept them. Andrew hurriedly stands up and proceeds to take his final step of becoming fully human. He goes to court with the request to validate his humanity. Standing in court, Andrew fights for recognition as a human being, arguing that some humans have artificial body parts, making them, in a sense, artificial themselves. He believes that as a being with emotions, he should be considered human and be granted humanity. Despite resistance from the judge, who sees him as a potential threat and source of envy for other humans due to his positronic brain, making him immortal, Andrew persists in his quest for humanity. Years pass, and Portia continues to age as she turns 75 in a few days. She becomes emotional while playing chess with Andrew one day as she contemplates the inevitability of her aging and eventual death, while Andrew remains forever young. The thought of being separated from him forever weighs heavily on her mind. In a final attempt, Andrew seeks out Rupert for an upgrade that would allow his biomechanical body to function on human blood and age like a normal mortal person. As Andrew's body ages and deteriorates, he becomes increasingly determined to secure his recognition and rights as a human being, wanting nothing more than to be acknowledged for his true identity. Andrew persists in his quest for his human acceptance and understanding. He addresses gatherings of lawmakers, expressing his desire to be acknowledged as a human being. Through his powerful words and arguments, he moves the members of Congress and those in attendance, and his marriage is finally recognized. As Andrew is finally declared by the World Congress the oldest living human in recorded history, Andrew Martin passes away during his declaration proceedings, with his aging and frail wife, Portia, beside him.
Thanks for watching. For more movie recaps like this, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Have a wonderful day.